Today we'll be doing the Taisho Tripitaka. You can find the insert in your pamphlets if you'd like to follow along, or also known as the 8 Realizations of the Great Beings. The 8 Realizations of Great Beings. The first realization is the awareness that all dharmas are impermanent and without a separate self. By contemplating on the impermanent and non-self nature of all dharmas, you can escape suffering and obtain enlightenment, peace, and joy. The second realization is the awareness that more desire brings more suffering. All hardships in life arise from greed and desire. The third realization is the awareness that living simply, having few desires, leads to peace, joy, and serenity. Living simply allows for more time and concentration to practice the way and to help others. The fourth realization is the awareness that only diligent effort leads to enlightenment. Laziness and indulgent sensual desires are obstacles to practice. The fifth realization is the awareness that ignorance is the cause of the endless cycle of birth and death. You must always remember to listen and learn in order to develop your understanding and eloquence. The sixth realization is the awareness that poverty creates hatred and anger, which in turn creates a vicious cycle of negative thought and actions. Followers of the way, when practicing generosity, should consider everyone, friends and enemies alike, as equal, not condemning anyone's past wrongdoing or hating those who are presently causing harm. The seventh realization is the awareness that although we dwell in the world to teach and assist others, we should not become caught up in worldly matters. One who leaves home to follow the way possesses only 3 robes and a bowl. They always live simply and look at the beings with the eyes of compassion. The 8th realization is that we do not practice for our individual enlightenment alone, but devote our whole being to guiding all others to the gates of enlightenment.
At this time, I'd like to invite up our incense lighters, and we are going to be chanting the incense offering that you can find inside of your booklet. And together we say, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding, slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Good morning, everyone. It's been a while, so I'm just kind of taking it in. To start service, just a reminder that families with children, you're welcome to use the downstairs area for any needs. There's a kitchen down there, a bathroom down there, water fountain, so please feel free to use it. If this is your first time here, there are restrooms just on the other side of that curtain. Just a reminder to not walk across the front if you can help it, just because it's helpful for our viewers online. When we do chant our songs or our chants, keep them upbeat, be joyful, invoke some life into them, right? Don't just kind of chant the words to chant the words. Try to find meaning in each word that you're saying and to embody it. And so with that, we're going to begin with our first Three Refuges chant on page 7. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I am aware that the 3 jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. And on the next page, we will chant the Heart Sutra. Give us some life. Dhamma Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, from the deep practice of Prajna Paramita, perceived the emptiness of all 5 skandhas, and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate.
They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or object of mind. No realm of sight, no realm of consciousness. No ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance. No old age and death, nor extinction of them. No suffering, no cause of suffering. No cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering. No knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore the mind is clear of any delusive hindrance. Without hindrance there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas, past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharani, the radiant fearless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Dhamma, prajna, paramita, hridaya, sutra.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Igye. That's my Dharma name. My real life name, you can call me Z. It's short for Elizabeth. I've been away from the temple for probably about 12 weeks now, engaged in a 200-hour meditation teacher training. So that's why you haven't seen me if you've been at the temple or come to the temple more recently. But I'm really glad to be back and share some of the insights that I learned and found while I trained my mind with 80 other people from all over the world. One of the most beautiful experiences of my life that I really hope to be able to bring here and pass on to everyone whose mind is willing to listen and hear what I have to say. Before we start, I'm going to begin with some of my chants some of the chants that I learned that are traditional Tibetan chants and prayers. The first one is called Offering the Mandala. And essentially what we're doing is creating a beautiful world in our mind, the world that we want to see when we live our lives and we walk through the world that we're very capable of seeing. And I'll read what the translation is after I've chanted it. And you don't have to do the hand mudras. Explain this a little bit, but this is a mudra that represents the whole universe, the four corners of the universe, and the perfect world that we would like to see. Sashi Puki Jukshing Metok Tram Rirab Lingshi Nyende Gengpadi Sange Shingdu Mikte Uwargi Drokun Namdak Shingla Chupar Sho Idam Guru Ratnamandalakam Niryatayami. Here's the great earth, filled with the smell of incense, covered with a blanket of flowers. The great mountain, the four continents, wearing a jewel of the sun and moon. In my mind, I make them the paradise of a Buddha and offer it all to you. By this deed, may every living being experience the pure world. And just as we do our three refuge vows, I'm going to chant the Tibetan refuge and the wish. Sangye chudang tsoki choknam la jangchu bardu dakni kyabsu chi daki chenyen gipe sunam ki drola penchir sangye drupar shok sangye chudang tsoki choknam la Jangchu bardu dakni kyabsu chi daki chenyen gipe sunam ki drolar penchir sange drupar sho sange chudang tsoki choknam la Jangchu bardu dakni kyabsu chi Daki chenyen gipe sunam ki drolar penchir sange drupar sho. I go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I achieve enlightenment. By the power of goodness that I do in the giving and the rest, may I reach Buddhahood for the sake of every living being. So I'm going to be talking about the three jewels, which is the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. The Buddha, in many cases, is a person, Shakyamuni Buddha, who we honor on our dais, the person who brought enlightenment and the path that we follow, passed down for over 2,500 years to where we're sitting right now. And those teachings are what we call the Dharma. And it is to help us to realize the true nature of reality. But the only way that we can do that is together in a Sangha. And some might argue that the Sangha is the most important aspect of the three jewels. So to give a little background on what the word Sangha means, it's a Sanskrit word, and the Tibetan word is Gendun. And it is traditionally composed of four groups: monks, nuns, laymen, and laywomen, or lay persons. While the Sangha is part of the threefold refuges, together with the Buddha and the Dharma, it is a basic creed of Buddhism. This sense of community is really central to our practice. It offers both guidance and inspiration. Now, in monastic communities, it plays a crucial role, the Sangha plays a crucial role in preserving and transmitting the teachings from teacher to student, teacher to student, teacher to student. And monasteries and those who take on these teaching roles are seen as, excuse me, I lost my place. We serve as custodians of this ancient wisdom. And when we dedicate our lives, whether you're living the monk's life in the monastery, or you are a lay Dharma teacher like myself, we devote our lives to studying, to meditation, to learning the rituals, to embodying these profound teachings that are passed down from generation to generation. And so the lay Sangha, which consists of individuals like you and me, we work on engaging in our life and carrying those teachings with us. We strive to integrate moments of mindfulness and this practice of compassion into our everyday existence. And what I particularly love about the Sangha is its inclusivity, this open-heartedness to welcome anybody in who wants to see the world and its limitless potential. And that's why we come. We see that there is a way out of suffering. We don't always have to feel the weight of the world on our shoulders. We don't always have to be living in this heaviness. And through our connection with our Sangha, we have this ability to lighten up and to see that it doesn't always have to be that way. And so when we take refuge in the Sangha, it means that we're leaning into this community of practice that is going to help lead us towards enlightenment. We have challenges in everyday life. There's always going to be an expectation that isn't met. And as my teacher said, expectation is the killer of joy. But the Sangha offers a valuable lesson in interconnectedness. And this interconnectedness forms the foundation for cultivating empathy, compassion, and a genuine sense of responsibility for the wellness of others. And so in that very first chant, the mandala offering, in my mind, I make them a paradise of a Buddha, and I offer it all to you. When we train our minds, as much as we often see that, oh, well, I'm doing it for myself, right? So I can reduce my suffering. Well, unintentionally or unconsciously, you may not realize it, that you're also doing it for everybody else around you. And while the more that we practice, the more that we have this understanding of reality as it really is, and we lose our misunderstandings about what our self means. We then begin to realize that when we do create a paradise in our mind, we are actually able to offer that to everybody in the world. But you can't do it if you don't have a Sangha. This practice must bridge the differences we often identify as separating us, and instead nurture the deeper connection and similarities that we share. When each of us can lean into that aspect of the three jewels, we can make a stronger imprint on our minds. one that will influence our future karma towards the perfect world that we want to be a part of. And I'm going to read a couple excerpts. The first one is from Thich Nhat Hanh. In order for us to develop some roots, we need the kind of environment that can help us become rooted. A Sangha is not a community of practice in which each person is an island, unable to communicate with each other. This is not a true Sangha. No healing or transformation will result from such a Sangha. A true Sangha should be like a family in which there is a spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood. There's a lot of suffering, yes. And we have to embrace all this suffering. But to get strong, we also need to touch the positive elements. And when we are strong, we can embrace the suffering in us as well as of those all around us. If we see a group of people living mindfully, capable of smiling, of loving, we gain confidence in our future. When we practice mindful breathing, smiling, resting, walking, and working, then we become a positive element in society. And we will inspire confidence all around us. This is the way to avoid letting despair overwhelm us. It's also the way to help the younger generation so they don't lose hope. It's very important that we live our daily life in such a way that demonstrates that a future is possible. There's another quote by Dr. Hanada, who is a modern Buddhist scholar. And he says, of the three treasures of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha is the most important thing. There's nothing more important in Buddhism than Sangha. It is only the Sangha that the Buddha and the Dharma can exist. A Sangha is everything in Buddhism. If you take a person that thinks that they can study Buddhism without a Sangha, or that there can be a Buddhism apart from a Sangha, they are greatly mistaken. There is no Buddhism apart from a Sangha. As these 80 people, this Sangha that I walked into, that's based out of New York City in Manhattan, we walked in storming, which we were all trying to figure each other out. We didn't know who each other was. People from Germany, from Mexico City, Michigan. There were two of us from Michigan. Ohio, California, Oregon, all over the world. It took us some time to get to know each other, but the direction that we were asked to approach our teaching in was to come from a place of an open heart and a place of vulnerability. And we often feel like we have to be guarded, and that comes from our own fear and this sense of shame that we place on ourselves. And that's what the Buddha is asking us to see when we talk about ignorance and misunderstanding, is that we often put these labels and requirements and expectations on ourselves that keep us from connecting with one another. And if there's one thing that I took away from this experience, as I shared with them all, is this beautiful, deep understanding of how to get out of my own way and to have that deeper connection with each person that I'm so grateful to be walking this path with. And so, as we navigate the complexities of our lives, may the wisdom and compassion of the Sangha inspire us to create communities that embody the timeless teachings of the Buddha, so that we can manifest a world without suffering. It's not important to limit ourselves to thinking that a perfect world isn't possible. If we're always aiming for a perfect world, we will always be going and moving in that direction. And the last piece I'm going to leave you with is a quote from the King of Prayers. May I always have the friendship of those whose path is like mine, and with body, words, and also mind, may we practice together the same aspirations and activities. And we're going to prepare for meditation, but we're going to be doing a guided meditation today. So first, I'd like to know who here, is this your first time at the temple? Some of you I haven't seen before, or maybe I have, and I've just got a really poor memory because these past 12 weeks have felt like a year. If you've been here, this is your first time being here in the last 3 months, raise your hand. Okay, so there are lots of new faces. Cool. Well, I hope to get to know each and every one of you as you come to be a part of our Sangha. So I'm going to lead you in a question now. Who just recently started meditating? Love the enthusiasm. Who has started a meditation practice in the last 3 months? Anyone? Or maybe you're coming back to a meditation practice. Maybe you used to practice and you're taking a break, and So I'm going to guide you through a breath meditation. We'll talk a little bit about why the breath is important, and then we'll go into a guided sitting portion of the breath meditation. We can go ahead and close down those lights a little bit. So first thing I'm going to say is take a moment to stretch your body. Okay, we've been sitting here for almost 30 minutes. You need to stand up. Stand up. Be kind to your body. And when you're ready, go ahead and take your seat. If you need any extra pillows, there are extra pillows over here. This is not about you being in pain. When we come to sit down, it's as my teacher described it, it's like you want to park your body so you can forget about it. Okay, not park it with forgetting that you left something inside and have to go back to the body. You want to leave it where it's at. So sincerely, get comfortable. If you're in a seated position, the thing I'm going to recommend is sitting on your seat bones. So making sure that you either really bolster up your mat behind you so you get enough height. Your hips should be higher than your knees. If you find that your knees or you don't have the flexibility in your hips, grab an extra cushion. If there's some cushions around you that you can use, grab an extra cushion and stick it under your knees. This is not about sitting in the perfect meditation posture or pushing through pain. This is you being able to imprint your mind successfully so that you can live in a perfect world. 3 ways you can hold your hands. Cosmic Mudra in the lap. That's with right hand inside of the left hand with thumbs lightly touching. You can also place your hands down. Usually if this is like you're feeling pretty energetic or you have a lot of rushing thoughts, maybe anxious, palms down on top of the legs. If you're feeling a little drowsy, palms up. And once you're ready, go ahead and close down your eyes. Beginning with a quick body scan, starting at the top of your head. Imagine that there's warm water slowly being poured over you from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And while this is happening, each part of your body that the water touches is going to relax just a little bit more. Starting at the forehead and the eyebrows, relaxing that. Releasing and softening the eyes. Relaxing the cheeks and the jaw. Mouth should be slightly parted with the tongue resting right behind the teeth. Release the tension in your neck. Let those shoulders sink just a little bit closer to the earth. Let go of all that tension in your arms. Relax your hands a little bit more. Making sure that your spine is stacked, one vertebrae on top of the other, crown reaching towards the sky. Releasing any tension in your lower back and your hips, softening the top of the thighs, letting go of any tension in your knees, in your calves, and your shins. And finally, relaxing the top of the feet, the bottom of the feet, and the toes. Inhale, hold at the top, open mouth, exhale. Inhale, hold at the top, big open mouth, exhale. And one more time. Inhale, hold at the top, exhale. And go ahead and let that breathing return to a normal, relaxed pace. Breathing is something we can ground ourselves on at any moment of any part of the day. It's a tool that we can use to bring ourselves back to the present moment. We're going to begin by counting 10 rounds of breath. As you inhale, in your mind, you can say, breath, and as you exhale, you can count 1. Counting from 1 to 10, and if you get to 10, start again at 1. If you notice your mind start to wander, release any judgments about those thoughts, and just start back again at 1. Now bring your attention to the tip of your nose. Notice the temperature of the air as you breathe in. Is it cool? And notice the temperature of the air as you breathe out, a contrasting warmth. Take a couple of breaths to observe the sensations of this feeling of the temperature. Now bring your attention and your awareness to the back of your throat. What is the temperature sensation there? What's the tactile sensation that you feel on each inhale and exhale? Moving our awareness to our chest. Where in your body do you feel each inhale and exhale? Can you feel it in your ribs? Can you feel it in your back, your arms? Just observe without any judgment. And now move that awareness into your belly. What do you feel here on each inhale and exhale? Now, having taken our awareness through these 4 areas, pick one area that you feel your breath most strongly and place your awareness there. Notice the beginning, middle, and end of each inhale, and the beginning, middle, and end of each exhale. See if you can get more detailed. See if you can notice the beginning, middle, and end of the beginning, and of the middle, and of the end. Now take your awareness and place it on your right shoulder. As you breathe in and out, notice what your inhale and exhale feels like with your awareness on that right shoulder. Observe any sensations. Now gently put that awareness on your left shoulder, noticing the breath and any sensations that you feel in that left shoulder on your inhale and exhale. take a moment to observe any differences you might feel between your right and your left shoulder. Now bring to mind somebody you know that might be struggling, somebody who needs a little bit of goodness in their life. And take all of this goodness that you've just cultivated by training your mind and imagine giving it away to them. If our intention is to create a paradise in our own mind, the result of that is our generosity to give that away. And observe how that might change this person's life, even if it's just for today. How might this person feel? Gently bring your awareness back into your body and putting a little bit of movement into your fingers and toes, gently wiggling. And when you're ready, go ahead and open those eyes. Bless you. By doing exercises like that one, you are building what is called shamatha or shine, which is single-pointed concentration. And the intention of the very foundational meditations is to know that you have power to where you put your mind. If you place your mind on anger, that's what's going to show up in your life. If you place your mind on goodness, that's what's going to show up in your life. As teachers, it is our responsibility to care for the real estate of your minds. And as a Sangha, it is our duty to do that for each other. And we have this capability just by being here and by learning these teachings to make the world the place that we want to see. So thank you for joining me in that today, and I hope you can take some of that goodness with you into the world as you go about your day. So moving into our next portion of service, we're going to talk a little bit about our joys and concerns. This is an opportunity for you to share, if you feel like doing, any hardships that you might be experiencing, and just to allow the Sangha to hold you in their thoughts and in their meditation, especially at the end when we do this portion of dedication. And any joys, we like to celebrate with you. So we've got a microphone that we'll be passing around.
My joy today is actually brought by the talk itself, because this morning I was very, very angry, and now instead of that justified anger sitting in my brain like a little ball of mess, I can put it somewhere good. Because the thing I was angry at was that a homeless man had to sleep on the sidewalk instead of a bench, or a bed, or some kind of actual shelter. And now I can put that anger somewhere good instead of having it stay in my head like a mess.
Yeah, I'm at Guide and Light, and yesterday we served a community dinner for lunch or whatever, and I was really grateful to share that joy and sharing with the community and serving the needs of others. And it was just a really joyful, pleasant experience all around for me. And so anyway, I'm just grateful to share that experience.
Well, first, I just want to point out that this is a really hard time of year for a lot of people. A lot of the families that I've been working with have been having some really hard times, whether it's, bringing up some old memories that are tied to the seasons, or just disruption in your routines, or the weather changing, or all the above. So just kind of hoping everybody can hold down the fort till January. Things will get a little bit better. Also, I wanted to say that I'm very grateful to have Igye Sue back. It was great to kind of get a crash course yesterday in helping to assist with the meditation class, which was a really, really great experience. So if you all ever get the chance to be a part of that, I would recommend it.
Since I'm holding the mic, I'm going to go next. And echoing off of what you said about it being a hard time of year, our neighbors at the watercolor aquarium gallery, which is right next door, have suffered a loss. The owners are a husband and wife, and the wife's name is Robin. She was battling cancer for the last couple of years and passed away last week. I have a card of condolences on the back table if anyone would like to sign their name. I'm going to run it over to them after the service to offer our condolences for their loss as their neighbors. So, and please hold them in your heart and mind. So.
I've been working on, I'm interested in learning transcendental meditation, but it's been frustrating for me, and I'm just looking for strength to continue with that, and also other meditation practices that I could learn here. So I guess, I don't know, like I said, I'm trying to be strong and continue with my practice.
Last night, upon contemplation of living here for the first time, I did a tarot reading, and I asked, what is to be expected of me showing up here? And I received an upright 3 of Cups, in whom I see you, and you represented in that card at this moment. I came here with the intention of finding some type of technique towards single-mindedness, actually. So I think it's wonderful that you brought that up today. Thank you. Blessed be.
Well, I'm happy to be able to sit on a cushion for the first time in 2 months. That's all.
Well, I'll throw in my last joy. It's really good to be back. I'm really joyful to be here with you all. It's just amazing to have an opportunity to allow other people in to break open your heart a little bit more. And being able to see the limitless of your mind and the limitless potential of the world around you. And I hope that in your own practice, and if you're just starting one, that you continue to move towards that, because our world really needs it. So thank you all for being here today, and for those of you online as well, and doing something good for the world. That brings me lots of joy to my heart. Do we have any announcements online? Or no joys and concerns? Okay. And with that, a moment of silence to hold space for all of those joys and concerns. And we bow. Couple of temple-related announcements. Board meeting today. There is, and that's right after, or it's after service, 10:30 to 1. You can join online. Yes? Okay. We have a holiday meditation service, which I'll be leading on Friday. And it's going to be a puja. So what that means is we're going to be lighting things on fire in a very safe and controlled way. I know fire always gets people excited. The intention is to bring your intentions for the new year, to take a moment to think about, and this is something that if you do plan on coming, identify what are some things that have been holding you back that you'd like to purify. This could be a numerous amount of things, but one of the things that I've spent my last 3 months purifying is judgment. So trying to remove my judgment that I have towards myself and towards other people, and trying to find some kind of equanimity in that. And then we're also going to be amplifying something, a good quality. So something that we would like to see shine brighter. So we call this a purify and an amplify. So if you'd like to join us, we'll be doing that on Friday evening from 7 to 8:30. So would love to have you there with us. PM. PM. I'm a dance teacher and I teach very late. So I don't think I could probably do it, but we're not going to go that direction. 7 to 8:30 PM. And if you want to bring like a little treat to share, bring a treat to share. Thursday, we have our Dharma discussion group from 9:30 to 11 a.m. It meets through this Thursday. And if you're interested in more information, email Reverend Jingsu. I believe his email is on the website. This Wednesday is the closing. Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday or is it December 17th? Because today's the 17th. So it closes today. Okay, got it. Okay. So not Wednesday. The online auction closes today. So if anybody's listening online, get your last final bids in. Okay. We have our Buddhist basement recovery meetings Mondays at 6:30, 6:30 meditation, 7 p.m. meeting at the temple. Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. at the Alano Club. Gotcha. Okay. Good to know. So the Wednesday meeting is no longer meeting. So we are just doing Mondays and Fridays. Fridays is 10:05 a.m. meditation, 10:30 a.m. meeting at the temple or via Zoom. In the event of severe weather, we will be sending e-alerts and posting on social media platforms. So this is a good reason to subscribe to our newsletter if you haven't already. This way you can get that information right into your inbox. And there is another announcement. We have a Bodhisattva program that will be starting in January. And it runs through August, and it meets on the first Saturday of each month. And if you've taken the 5 precepts and you'd like to deepen your practice, highly consider taking the Bodhisattva course. For those of you who have taken the Bodhisattva vows before and would be interested in taking them again or just participating in the course, I believe that as long as there's room, I think that we'll be able to hold space for you. Any questions, please reach out to Kunga. Registration does end on December 29th. So if you are considering doing that, get your sign up in. It's a great program. You can also, if you are working with the teacher here at the temple, you could also talk to them and see if you haven't taken the precepts yet, to potentially join us as well. Yes. Yes, the retreat. I'm getting there, but I'm not sure. It's not on here. Do you have that information, or? I'm going to pull it up. Yes. Okay. So we have a silent winter retreat. It's a day-long retreat here at the temple. It goes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will be practicing different types of meditation. We'll have some Dharma talks in there as well. Registration is online for that. Yes. So registration's online for that. Please check there for any information. And I believe that's it for announcements on my end. Any other event details or questions, either visit the website or shoot an email over to one of our various people who could help you with whatever your questions are. All right. Any other announcements?
Good morning, Sangha. My name is Ellen. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Dana, which is a pretty big, important part of our practice. Dana means generosity, and it comes in many forms. The first one I always like to talk about is the generosity of your time, and you're all putting in some generosity this morning by being here at the temple. Thank you for that. If there's a service that you would like to help with, we have greeters at the door. We have our tech support. People help set up and tear down after our events in the lower level of the temple. That's always appreciated. There's also the generosity of, I always say that the toilet paper and Kleenex group, but don't start bringing it because we don't need it right now. But as far as dry goods, I guess I'll say, Nikki, who's not here right now, but she's the one who would be a good person to contact if you're like, hey, what does the temple need? And she will tell you. The third is the monetary generosity. No one here at the temple receives a paycheck. Everything that happens here is done by volunteers. That's our tech support, our Dharma teachers, people that clean, all kinds of stuff is all volunteer. If you would like to make a monetary donation, we have Dana boxes at each end of the temple. Each box also has a QR code, which will take you immediately to PayPal. You can go to our temple web address, zengr.org. There's a donation button there that will also take you to PayPal, which you can make a one-time donation. You can also set it up as monthly, which is very convenient. If you're watching us from YouTube, there is a see more. I always want to make a joke about the see more if anybody's old enough to remember those kind of jokes. But anywhere, the see more button has a drop down. Will also take you to PayPal where you can set up a donation there. We would greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
And with that, let's go ahead and stand and recite our gathas together. Page 9. And together we say, for all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for them all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddhist teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. All beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. You're welcome to join us downstairs for tea. We've got about a half hour, and then the board meeting will be starting downstairs. And there will also be a Dharma Council meeting upstairs, but that's a closed meeting. The Dharma Council meeting is a closed meeting. But you're welcome to socialize. I know I want to see some of you that I haven't seen in a while, and meet some of those that are here that I'm meeting for the first time. So, thank you.